Hello everyone, Landon D here. I'm a professional Tekken player from NA, and I've been playing Tekken for over 15 years. And today, DashFight has asked me to reveal the Tekken secrets to you all, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. But before we start, be sure to subscribe to DashFight for more character guides and check out their website for all things FGC. Now let's get it. Alright, so Martial Law. Martial Law is an aggressive, poking, counter hit, Rekka character. And what he uses to get you to play into his Rekkas is this slide right here. And the slide is one of the cheapest lows in the game. Along with that, Law is basically like an all-rounder. He can do pretty much anything, but he's supposed to play aggressive. I don't think it's possible to really play him defensive in this game at all. I don't think he's a defensive slide character. I think that's more like Lee's type of thing. And I'll go over how his game plan works later in the guide. But in general, if you like all-rounding characters, really fast, up close, beat 'em up, kung fu movies, Law is your guy. All right, let me go over Law's heat engagers first, because I feel like if we don't go over his heat engagers, it's not gonna really make sense how you're supposed to play him. And really, heat engagers really tell you how you're supposed to play the character and how you're supposed to use their tools. The first one comes from his jab, Furious Rush. What's crazy about this one is it's like a counter hit confirmable. People call them G-clefs, I guess, but this 111 is NCC from the first jab, and it launches them all the way across the screen. It's -12, so it is punishable. It's not really safe. Law has another move he can use that's not like that one, but this move is really good because when you are in heat, it's a full launcher. And I'll go over the combo afterwards, but they can do a little thing after it or whatever. And that's move is back 122. This is another Rekka, one of his Rekkas from back one. This string I think needs a nerf, in my opinion. It's really cheap. I could probably go over how this string works like for a good 10 minutes, but I'm gonna keep it simple. So back one is just this 14 frame like poke, right? And you can sort of confirm it on normal hit like that. Back 1-2, and back 1-2-2 is fully natural and counter hit. So if you're doing just back 1-2-2-2 like that. Now what's cool about this is from any point in the Rekka you can shift to Dragon Charge, and I'll go over exactly what makes Dragon Charge cheap about that. But in short, they have to play into this move at all times. If you do back one, it's really cheap because if they're blocking after it, you can go into Dragon Charge, and then you can slide, and then you can mix them up with one of the other heat engagers that I'm about to talk about. And also, this is a launching heat engager. You do get a combo off this one too. So yeah, it is a plus on block counter hitting launching. +5 right there, and then at the wall I think it's around +15, +18. Yeah, they're +18. Dragon's Fury. Now this is also one of his most broken moves. Like, I can't believe they even gave Law this move. Up forward 3. Now this used to be Forest Law's while standing 3, but it just made it an up forward 3 input, so he can just do it whenever. Like, that is so cheap to me. And it's -8. It doesn't really have that much good tracking, but honestly, you can just throw this move out honestly like that, like on timings. Just make sure you don't get it stepped, and it wall splats. That is just crazy. But what really makes this cheap is because Law can go into like a stance like that, and I'll have a whole section for Dragon Charge because you kind of need it. Those moves are really important. So what he can do to mix up his slide is up forward 3 just like that. And there's so many moves that transition to Dragon Charge where you can threaten with the slide, or you can like that. And in heat, what makes it dumb is it's a full launcher. He just gets a +1 block launcher knits up from his slide. I think that's super cheap. That he's never had that type of safety before, and like reward from his slide. So that, I think that makes him one of the better characters in the game. Dragon Cannon. Now this move got buffed a lot from Tekken 7. Dragon Cannon used to be launch punishable, but now it's only -13. and can be done from Dragon Charge. I'll go over how to do that too. And it just does a lot of damage. Like usually this move would be something you'd have to use very liberally, and you couldn't really like just throw it out there. You need to have good timing, but now you could just, it's minus 13, and in heat you can make it +1 block. So you do not get a full combo after it. You do get a flop over or like a guaranteed hit. It will be a little crazy, but yeah, he's not an extra armor move too. Now this move also got buffed too. Dragon Charge forward 1. This used to be minus 14. Now it's just safe. He's got a safe fast mid from Dragon Charge. Usually he would have to do 3+4 to stop people from mashing as like the mid, like mix up, or like he just never had that type of coverage in Dragon Charge before, at least not that I know of. So that is a really good move, and in heat it is just a launcher, so that's pretty dumb. And what's unique about this too is, let me show you real quick. I can just record something really quick like that. This is gonna be cool. Watch this. All right, watch. He can also launch you from his parry now, just like that. So it's like the best Law has ever been, in my opinion. It's really crazy. Oh yeah, that's just Dragon Cannon from Dragon Charge. You know, it's the same stuff. But yeah, that's basically his heat engagers, and those engagers really power up your character. And once I started explaining more about Law, and it made sense, like, oh, you have to get hit by this stuff. Like if you don't get hit by that stuff, he's gonna keep dealing damage to you with slide like that. So it's like a really cheap mix-up they have to keep playing into. A bunch of slide timings, random up forward 3s, and then they start mashing out of this, and it's like 1-1-1, and then they get counter hit, stuff like that. I'll go over it later. I swear. All right, now I'm just gonna go over his best moves, and his moves literally will just go down a list. It'll almost seem like a flow chart. It'll be like I'm telling you exactly how to play the character just from talking about his best moves in that order and how to beat people that try to counter it. So literally, we're gonna start with his jab. Yes, his jab is probably one of the most godlike jabs in the game, and you need to use this jab. The reason is because his up close options are really cheap. And we talked about one of his heat engagers, the counter hit jab right there. That is really, really cheap. The second move to use is his down forward 1. That is a crazy move too, because his small Tekken is just super godlike. I don't know if I keep stressing this. His jab being able to do this, right, and it just being up close. But when we get to the lows, it like will make a little bit more sense. But his jab and down forward 1, you really want to get really close to use these moves, because the options that come after it or how they try to counter it beats them, right? So how you counter this jab and down forward 1, I'll show you the options that will kill people for trying to counter them. Basically, how people try to counter this jab and down forward 1 are they're going to try to sidestep it the way it doesn't track, right? It doesn't track that way, right? They have to move out of the way of this jab, right? So this opens up other moves, right? When they start moving out of the way of your jab, because they need to avoid the jab, they don't want to stand still, because if they stand still, you're going to slide on them. It's about to be really annoying. Down back 3, right? You have down back 3. Down back 3 will hit them for trying to avoid your jab, like that. And then down 4 will make sure they won't duck. 2. So when they try to avoid stuff like that, you can also, does this track this way? Yeah, forward 2-2. That is a nice Rekka too. You can jab from that from behind. But anyway, so now we have 3 moves. We have jab, down forward 1, and down back 3. We got our first low. It's minus 13. Another move that you're going to be using a lot is down forward 2. That tracks that way. So when people try to avoid small stuff, you can just launch them like that and get a free combo or whatever. And I'll go over combos right after this. Some pretty easy B&Bs that like keep me healthy. Law's combos aren't really too hard or too crazy. They're just like that, you know. So the next move after jab, down for 1, if you really need to track them and they're like doing small steps and you don't know which way they're gonna move, you can just hit back 4. Back 4 is your cheater move to get people to stand still. You don't really got to know which way things fully track with law. I mean, you just know that they can step the jabs and down forward 1. But you get them to stand still with back 4, they really got to deal with the jab and stuff like that. The jab and down forward 1 are really crazy, and even the 1-2-2, right? I like doing 1-2-2 to get people to stand still. When I know stuff is gonna counter hit and I'm just mashing a lot, whole string is guaranteed like that. All right, so now we have jab, down forward 1, down bat 3, back 4, right? I really play with all these moves, right? A lot. And then I'll go over some lows. He has really godlike lows right after this. Dragon Hammer. This move tracks that way. Well, only steps, right? So what people don't want to get hit by this, right? You see how jab, down forward 1, body, sidewalk, right? Y'all see that? So people will start doing like a side step right block, or they'll start ducking your down bat 3, right? Because when they start sidewalking, they're gonna run into down bat 3, right? And then they're gonna be like, okay, well, I'm gonna start ducking. So now you have Dragon Hammer, right? Dragon Hammer is gonna do this. Now they can't duck, and now they don't want to mash, and now they're gonna want to start mashing from forward crouch. Everyone starts mashing from forward crouch when you start doing Dragon Hammer. It tracks a little bit to his left, only a tiny bit, not too much. You sort of gotta walk forward, but in general, this move will kind of clonk them in the head when they only do like tiny side steps like that, as long as you don't do it instantly. When they start ducking this move, just know it doesn't track. You really want to get them to stand still and, you know, slide and, you know, play into your Dragon Hammer, your forward 1+2. The next move I want to go over now, after you got them to play into Dragon Hammer, stuff like that. Well, let me explain that Dragon Hammer is also a counter hit launcher. Like, this move is crazy. Like, it's +30 on block, and it leaves you with crouch, so you can start pressuring with slide. So they gotta attack into you, like I said. So basically, you want to do this, pressure with slide, and then you gotta make reads on what the opponent is about to do to you. Really, like, he's all about killing their reactions. Like, okay, they're stand guarding, I'm gonna do lows. Okay, they're mashing after this, I'm gonna sidestep that move, and then, you know, stuff like that. So after Dragon Hammer, right, the next move I want to talk about is while standing 4, because he has the best while standing 4 in the game. Now, why does he have the best while standing 4 in the game? You see that it's -4 down there, right? It's -4. Well, Dragon Charge, his unique mechanic, right? I'll go over how Dragon Charge works right after this. Dragon Charge allows him to cancel the recovery of moves into plus frames, right? So I can make that while standing 4 +5, right? It was before called DSS. So when you hear someone say DSS, they're talking about Dragon Charge. It's not called DSS anymore. I don't know why we keep calling it DSS. It's Dragon Charge. So if I ever see DC, or if I ever say DC or say Dragon Charge, I'm referring to this. We gotta move on, y'all. We're in a new era. This is Dragon Charge. I'm putting it down. All right, anyway, while standing 4 puts you in the Dragon Charge at +5, and that's really cheap. So while you get down here, they're like, oh man, I don't want to deal with your slide, and then you kick them in the face, right? It's like this. Oh, playing the slide. Let me make him stop sidestepping, right? Let me make him block all stand, right? He doesn't need to step anymore, right? Oh my goodness, right? You got him to stand still with your jab, right? Remember, the whole goal is to get them down there, right? And then it's like, okay, while standing 4, Dragon Charge. And it's like, okay, now I'm in a mix up. A really dumb mix up. It's +5, and then you have like stuff like that. You got a time and stuff like that, and that's one of your heating gauges, right? So are you gonna mash after the while standing 4 and let me slide on you again and put you in this hellish slide mix up, right? Are you gonna let me slide on you, right, and put you in this mix up, or are you gonna mash right into one of my other heating gauges like that? So he's really trying to pressure people to, you know, into his counter hits with the slide. And while standing 4, basically you can do anything from it. And on counter hit, it's got lengths like that. Oh, hold up, wait. I usually don't drop that. I usually don't drop this, I swear. There we go. Natural combo and counter hit. And it's safe to just do like that. That one's also a link. and this is a notorious one. Whoops, I dropped it. Whoops, I dropped it again. There we go, 3 plus 4, 4. So now we have all these moves. We got jab, down forward 1, down bat 3, back 4, forward 1 plus 2. I guess we can count it 1 2 2. You know what I'm saying? We got 1 1 1. The heat engagers. We got all the heat engagers down. And we have while standing 4. I guess I should talk about slide because frankly this is like his best move. So to do slide, it's full crouch, down forward, down forward. So like you just wiggle your controller or stick or whatever, like down forward, down forward. And then the down forward input that you hold, the last input, you can like hold it and delay it for a very long time. I don't know how to describe that, but basically it allows you to slide from at any point he's doing that motion. And it can be buffered now in a way where you can't really see it. You know, fast slides are pretty good. And if you can't really do that input that really well, he can do it from drag and charge at any point by just holding down forward. So you do down 1 plus 2, hold down forward, and then press 3 at any point like that. And honestly, this version is cheaper a bit. It feels like he can just get down there at any moment, and then at the same time he can mix up the slide with up forward 3. Like that is so cheap. Like I'm even just like recording this like, wow, that's crazy. Like whoa. But let me get not caught up. Those are his best moves. I forgot to mention down forward 2 was one of those, but yeah, this is just a safe mid launcher. I guess the last 2 moves will go over because they really are really important too, I feel like, and they aren't lows. No, I'll give you 3 more. Back 1 2 is really good as a poke because it will track the other way, the way you have the step dragon hammer, right? So people want to step this move because you're spamming it. There will be people that don't want to be like, okay, I don't want to deal with this move. So if they start stepping dragon hammer 2, sidewalk left, we have back 1 2, right? Back 1 trats that way. So if they're like, okay, well, I want to also avoid this low, I don't want to have to deal with plus on block wall counter hit launcher, you have back 1 and it's also 14 frames, right? And you can go into dragon charge from any spot and you can slide from it, right? So they have to deal with the final hit. And what's funny about the final hit, the second hit is a punishment up. So it's -9 right there. And you can go into duck like that. So like if you have a high 12 frame punish, it's gonna whiff. And that's really cheap. So they really have to play into the final hit of this move. It's still -14, but like how I like to use this move is I like to try to get them to play into the second hit of back 1 like that. Like that. And then when they're like, okay, I'm gonna mash after the second hit, then the second hit is really easy to confirm in the final hit once you start getting them to play into the second hit like that. But it's harder to confirm the full strain from the first hit. But the second hit, like if you get them to counter hit the second hit like that, it's really easy to get. And as you know, this string is just crazy entity. Like this is just absurd. Like what is this? What was that? I'll teach y'all that combo later. It's not even that hard. Final move I want to teach you is junkyard. This is how you get people. This is the way for me to get in. I really get in with this move a lot. Back 2. This is a cheap move. I'm not gonna lie, bruh. It's a notorious strain. Most people call it a scrub strain, but they have to like block after it because if they don't, they get launched by bat 2 3 4. Like that is so cheap. So basically you can just bat 2 3 4 combo just like that. Oh, I have to go over 1 plus 2 after junkyard, but basically use junkyard to get in like that. And even with they're looking for the second hit, like you still feel like you're at an advantage, and you can always throw them right after it. It's super cheap. Now let me go over 1 plus 2. I need to go over 1 plus 2 because frankly, what is that? That is crazy. So 1+2 is just like this nunchuck attack. Just wow. He's never had this before. This is usually the range where people want to keep Law out. So if you're like at this range and you space it, most characters can't punish it if you're good at spacing it, like sort of like in Soul Calibur. And then sometimes it counter hits on a timing. Like I love this move, and on counter hit, it's a counter hit launcher. And in Heat, it just becomes a safe normal hit launcher. Like he can just hit 1+2. Like whoa, like that is insane. Whatcha? So yeah, 1+2 is pretty good, and it tracks sidewalk. There's sidewalk right, and as you know, people will try to step those moves, and I'll show you that right now. Literally sidewalk right. It's gonna be really funny. It tracks the Law's left. Watch ya! I do that to people all the time when they don't want to play into my dumb shit. I'm like, ooh, pretty sick. I guess I'll go over sidestep 3 as the other low to use, because you do need 2 lows. When you really start getting them blocking and you're at the wall and stuff like that, sidestep 3 is just goated. Like, I'm not trying to overload y'all with moves, but when you start experimenting with these moves, sidestep 3 is +7 on hit. Let me tell you about this low. Sidestep 3 +7 on hit, right? And it goes in the Dragon Charge automatically. So you're +7 in Dragon Charge. Boom. And on counter hit, it gives you free follow-ups, right? If you're really good, you can hit the nunchuck. That one's really hard to do. Don't try this at home, or actually try it at home. I don't want to plateau your growth. Sidestep 3 also gives you a heat engager. And y'all know, like I told you before, that heat engager launches. So if you land this on counter hit, you can, ooh, it takes a little bit of practice to do, but I mean, you know, it's pretty cheap. And if you want to mix up sidestep 3, sidestep 2, and it does chip damage, and it knocks down. So sidestep 2 and sidestep 3, you really want to make use of those at the wall. It's really cheap because you land sidestep 3 on counter hit at the wall, they're taking a bunch of damage. I dropped the combo, but they're gonna take a bunch of damage if I rewind. You know what I'm saying? You can also link 3+4 if you want, like, you know, if you want to do that too. But in general, basically Law plays a game with all of these moves right here. This one, heat engager, that one, sidestep 3. I've basically be showing you how I play the character. Now the icing on the cake, the throw. This throw right here is broken. Okay, well, since they added counter hit properties to the game, Law's 4/4 3+4 is super cheap, right? Because in all those situations where people want to mash, like fuzzy mash off of like junkyard and stuff, you can, bam, you got them. Or you're like, ooh, they try to step, bam, you got them. Or like while standing 4, bam, you got him, right? You can do that. Ooh, you can do ooh, ah. I be like, and then especially after back 4 on hit, right? You can. It's just an easy frame trap option. Ever since they made Shaolin kits like 13 frames, like I haven't even mentioned his Magic 4. I don't even think his Magic 4 is that good. Like, what's the point of me using a Magic 4 if my throw counter hit launches? I'm being so serious. Like, whoa, bro. Like, you can break the throw, right? It's possible to break this throw, but it becomes a 7-frame throw window to like break. Like, you have to be pressing the input as soon as it touches you, and no one is doing that. That is super hard to do. You can get like almost half life with no resources off of a Law throw. So he basically does everything. He's got this scary slide bits up, this throw, up forward 3, and stuff like that. So that's basically all of his moves right there. All right, let me go ahead and quickly explain how Law's DC or Dragon Charge works, because it is frankly a big part of what makes the character cheap, and they made it really easy to do in this game. So he can go into Dragon Charge. Basically, the most common moves are while standing 4, back 1. He can do it from Junkyard. He can do it from his 4/3. But most of the time, you're gonna be doing it from while standing 4 or after you do 1 2 2 2 like that, and he goes in the Dragon Charge automatically from side step 3. So while standing 4, hold forward. That's basically how you do on the Dragon Charge. The moves out of Dragon Charge that are most common: Dragon Charge 1. It's 0 on block, but it puts you back in the Dragon Charge. It has a counter hit property like that. You get that for free after, or 3+4. Dragon Charge forward 1. You all already know about that one. That's safe mid. Dragon Charge 3. That's what you use to catch people for trying to walk your stance. It does mad damage, like mad damage. If you can run up and land a stomp into 1+2, or if that's a little too hard, just run up 1+2. You know what I'm saying? He can also 1+2 from Dragon Charge like that. So if you catch someone slipping, like they're not sure what they should press, right in the face like that. He can also do forward 2 from Dragon Charge. That's like his safest, quickest option out of the stance IMO. Besides just standing there, it goes into forward 2 2 2 like that, and then you can go back in the Dragon Charge like so. The lows from Dragon Charge, he's off 4. That does a lot of damage actually. It's +6, so you can bat 2 like that to get back in, or just back 4 or whatever. That's like a frame trap. But what's really cool about this one, counter hit, if you do like a little micro dash, it's also a full launcher, so that's really cheap. But even if you don't get the full launch, you get a guaranteed flop over if you mess it up. You know, it's just like that. And it tracks a little bit to his left, so people trying to step will have to deal with that low. And then the cheapest move you got to worry about coming out of Dragon Charge is the slide. You just hold down forward from Dragon Charge like that. Pretty cheap. It leaves him bat turned like that. So you get a free nunchuck follow up. You probably see me do it 20 times in this video. Another move that doesn't come from, that isn't a Dragon Charge move, but you need to use it as a mix up from crouch in tandem with the slide, is up forward 3 like that. That is so cheap. That is beyond cheap. And then if you think you're gonna block, you can reset the situation. You can go like side step 3 while standing 4, while standing 4, while standing 4, while standing 4. Slide, he's not doing anything, or you think he's gonna mash into the nets while standing 4, boom, like that. Or you can go under their pressure, right? Ooh, he's blocking after this, up forward 3. It's very simple, you know what I'm saying? 3+4 comes from Dragon Charge too, but you don't use it as much in this game unless for counter hit lanes. I honestly don't use it that much. Another move that comes from Dragon Charge, I didn't really talk about this one much, but it's one edge punch. It's forward 2 tilde 1. This move is actually crazy. I can't believe I didn't talk about it, but if you made it this far in the guide, here's a bonus. Forward 2 tilde 1 is basically like another Dragon Hammer, and you can go into Dragon Charge from it if you hold forward, and it's +5. So it's just as plus as it's while standing 4 1 block. Yeah, +5 right there. This is really cheap. Because it's a counter hit launcher. You get a little combo for it, you know what I'm saying? And it also wall splats, and it's mad plus. Without Dragon Charge, it's +2. Pretty crazy move. That seems to be about, oh yeah, Legend Kit. You can Legend Kit from Dragon Charge. To manually enter Dragon Charge, I don't know if I said it's down 1+2. That seems to be about it. A quick tip just for you to get the Dragon Charge timing down to do it early as possible. You want to practice getting the blue spark from forward 3 out of Dragon Charge like that. Until you can get this blue spark from Dragon Charge, try seeing the earliest possible time you can hit 3. That's the timing you really want for all your Dragon Charge transitions like that. It's pretty. And then once you get the blue spark, then you know you're doing like moves like this early as possible. You really want to make sure you get your Dragon Charge out as early as possible so you don't get interrupted. But heat mode makes it more lenient. Like, you know, if someone was going to interrupt you out your Dragon Charge, you just punch them. See, I'm messing it up. Legend Kick also has the blue spark in it like that. So practice with Dragon Charge until you can get like a blue spark off all his main transitions, and then Once you have that down pat, then like it just becomes easier. You know, that's how you practice dragon charge right there. All right, now I'm gonna go over how you run offense with this character. And like I said before, this is an aggressive up in your face character. So this is basically what I do. I'm about to show y'all how I run it. All right, so basically I'm like, you gotta deal with slide. Slide is the most annoying move in the game. I'm not gonna hold you. You need to slide until they start ducking the slide. Literally you slide over and over and over. This is what most of my matches look like. I'm not even gonna hold it. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it at all, bruh. It looks like this. I'm like, okay, slide, and then they get up, slide. Sometimes they stay on the ground. I'm gonna nunchuck again, slide again. He's still not blocking the slide. Nunchuck. All right, is he gonna do keep out? Is he gonna duck the slide? Slide again, right? You need to start getting them to play into the slide, right? And then if they're doing things to counter the slide, you just counter what they're doing to counter the slide. And then you gotta get up close. Sometimes if they start blocking the slide, you just don't do the slide and you like use it to like poke them and do other lows, right? So they're worrying about this reacting to the slide. Then you can always sidestep 3, slide again, just like that. And then once they also start trying to duck the slide, you can start doing while standing 4. Maybe they're not playing into the slide. Dragon charge cancels, boom, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Offense is basically jab, you know, get them to stand still with the jab, right? Are they going to mash into your jab, right? And then do 1-1 when you think you're going to match into the jab. You just want to keep rushing them down, mix them up, sliding on them, doing up forward 3. You want to just mix them until they die. I wish there was any type of other type of solution. You want to get in with running 3, you know, are they going to mash back 1? Are they going to mash after that? Slide again, you know what I'm saying? Really, it's the slide. It's the most annoying move in the game, bro. I'm telling you, after you slide, you just turn around and hit 1+2 like that. It's a little bit hard to time. Make sure you get the turnaround animation first. I'll just hold back until he fully turns around. If they hold up, they can block it if you don't do it quick enough. And of course, if you hit 1+2 a little early, he does bat turn 1+2. But this is really what you gotta do with Law. This is so cheap. This is so cheap. And let me go over how he's supposed to play in heat mode, because you're gonna hit a heat engager, right? And you're gonna be like, okay, what do I do? So heat. Now you're in heat. So with Law and heat, you become super scary. So now your dragon charge becomes like an auto parry, right? Even when you're just doing this, he parries all punches, like this, all high and mid punches when he does that. And I'll show you it. So you'll be doing stuff like, oh, you record this punish real quick, like that. Any type of thing right there, bro. Block. Oh, so you're just gonna be doing your thing. You're gonna be like back 1 dragon charge, and that happens like water. Okay, nice. Okay, you gonna mash. Okay, that's nice. And sometimes you'll be like, okay, and sometimes you'll get your little counter hit and you'll get your combo. But it just makes the pressure super hard to stop. And then sometimes they'll run up and they'll start mashing jab after you're down forward 1. And sometimes I just go into raw DSS like that to parry. Really, I don't think I've ever used this input to like punch parry something on purpose. I feel no need for it. I really just get in the heat, parry, bop bop bop, sometimes like that. And if they don't hit anything, I still have moves to do out of this. And then sometimes I can even slide from it. It's super cheap. Also, if they're ducking after this, or they're gonna mash after sidestep 3 or something like that, that's a launcher. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very scary type heat mode to deal with, because your jab becomes a launcher too. Like there's a mid mix up from slide. Your best record in the game is a punish mix up, right? That's -12. But if you're going into dragon charge from back 1-2, it becomes a punch parry. This is cheap. I shouldn't be showing you all this, but back 1-2 in the heat, that might need a nerf, bro. Because, like, come on, bro. Like, are you serious? With that on the end of it, that's a little too cheap. So Law pretty much does the same combo off most of his launchers. He kind of switches up the ender based on wall carry. But in general, most of your combos off down forward 2 or dragon hammer on counter hit are gonna look like this. And you get pretty good Oki there too. You can just run up forward 3. Off of flip kick, you do have to either sidestep right cancel, but an easy version of it looks like this. And again, run up forward 3 or do a slide or something like that. And if you ever need a wall carry, you can just do something like down 2-3 at the end. That is also the same launcher, down 2-3. You're going to be doing 4 up 3 for literally everything. Now, for heat combos at the end, let's say you want a meter dump. Just do 4 forward 3 twice. Lost combos don't really do that much damage unless you reach the wall. They're mainly about just getting that little safe poke damage on them, like they made a neutral mistake. For heat dashes that launch, this is what I've been doing. It sort of works the same. So off of up forward 3 or bat 2-1-2 on counter hit, or 1-1-1, you just do 4 up 3 twice. Really, like that. For wall combos, let's say single hit screw 4-3 Trident cannon is pretty good. If you land a blue spark, that does pretty good damage. But Oki I've been using to rob people with, and don't share this with everyone, this is a little secret. I've been doing junkyard low at least when plus sits, and then I put them in a slide mix up, and sometimes I have heat, and this is what happens to them. Their whole soul gets attracted. Like, oh my goodness. You got another one like that, or you can just slide. But here's the super secret combo right here. Junkyard DSS3 1-2-2 1+2. That is the combo that most law players do if they save their screw, and it does a lot of damage. So yeah, law's B&Bs are kind of the same throughout most launchers. So law's strengths and weaknesses. Currently, I can't really find a bad thing about Law. He can kind of do just about everything. Matchups sort of get kind of hard when you can't really land your jab. So some characters have weird hurt boxes where they're like crouched down, they're mad far away, and you can't really land a jab or get in on them. Characters with like really fast recovery that he can't whiff punish and get in on with 3+4 are also really annoying. But in general, Law has the tools to deal with almost any matchup, and he's an easy character that lets you really make a lot of player reads on people because of slide. Some weaknesses though, sometimes you will mess up your Dragon charge, and that can get you killed in some situations. Like sometimes I see myself drop this Dragon charge and I'm like, oh no, and like I get jabbed into like full OP versus like a really top tier character. But Law can deal with the top tiers, most of them, kind of well. I think he's like one of the better characters in the game. He has very few weaknesses that really talk about. I think he's like a really strong character, a really solid character, and he doesn't really have too many gimmicks that for you to rely on. So I think he's also really good to help you learn the game. If you really want to start with Law, it'll be really helpful. It'll really teach you a lot about Tekken. All right, that pretty much sums it up. If you liked the video, please leave a like or comment below with your thoughts. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what y'all thought about the guide. I can improve from that type of stuff. You can also check out all the things shown in this video in the text version via the link in the description. Make sure to check the description and like the video, like I said before. All right, thanks for watching, and later.